Hello guys, welcome to calculus class. And this time I will go over this do now. Now I call it do now, but this one is the major part of the test. So in this video, I will just tell you which one you really need to study in order to do well on the test. So you might want to do these questions and these questions well in order to do FRQ portion very well. And like these questions are for the multiple choice questions. I will at the end of the video, or maybe in the separate video, I will tell you which one you really need to study. Okay, but you may pause the video. These are the topics that you need to study from the Delta 12, the recent homework, and these two are not the. You can check this where to find these topics from the Delta math, but these are the examples of the questions that you might want to do. So if possible, I will go over this one maybe in the separate videos as well. And I will tell you which questions you really need to do out of the packets that I gave you. Okay? But in this video, I will just focus on these questions. Okay? All right, so number one. Given the equation below, find the slope of the equation. Obviously on the test, they may ask you differently, okay? And this question, I want every single one of you to get it right because it's very simple. Again, slope of the line is same thing as the derivative. So you're gonna take a derivative of this. When you take a derivative of 8xy, keep that in mind, it's gonna be f is equal to 8x, therefore f prime is 8. G is equal to y, therefore g prime is equal to dy over dx. So this will turn to 8f prime, 8 times g, which is y, plus f, 8x, times g prime, which is dy over dx, equals derivative of 7 will become 0, derivative of negative y to the third power will become negative 3y squared times dy over dx. And at this point, either you can move this one to here and then move this one to the other side, or you just simply move this one to here. It's totally up to you. But I will just simply move this one to the other side, like this. So these two will disappear. I will get 8y is equal to, I'm going to write down x first, negative 8x minus 3y. Oh, I forgot to put dy dx. dy over dx, dy over dx. And I'm going to, as you can see, I have this 2, so I will simply factor this one out. Dy over dx, and I will have negative 8x minus 3y squared. And if I want to solve for dy dx, or if I want to prove something, I will have it like this. So I'm going to write it down here. Dy over dx is equal to 8y over negative 8x minus 3y squared. Or you may write it a little bit differently. You can say, do you see there's a negative here? If you did it on the other side away, this negative both goes to top because I can simply write this one as this. 8x plus 3y squared, which means I can just simply put negative here or on the top. So your question may ask, like, prove in certain way. So you simply have to know how to write in these 3 format. It's really up to how you write it, okay? So that's it. Your answer is gonna be one of these 3, okay? And you have to show this one on the paper. Number 2. Find the coordinate of the point of the curve at which the line tangent of the curve is horizontal, which means horizontal means y equals 0, or explain why no such point exists. So simply, when you have a graph, I don't know how graph looks like. you want to have something that has a like horizontal line. So, and horizontal line is zero slope. So you're trying to find where, oh, it's not y equals 0, dy dx equals 0, which we already found. So do you see here dy over dx equals negative 8y over 8x plus 3y squared. I'm just plugging this one in. And we're trying to find where things are equal to 0. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to find something that is a zero slope, I don't care what bottom number is. What I know is if top number is equal to 0, this entire thing is going to be equal to 0, right? For example, if 0 over 9 is still 0, 0 over 8 is equal to still 0. So I don't really care about the bottom number here. I only care about this top number. So I'm going to set as a 0 equals negative 8y. Or you can put as a positive 8y if you used this. But your answer is going to be exactly the same because when you actually divide by negative 8 both sides, you're going to get y equals 0. So that's a y value of the coordinate. So if you read the question carefully, we are trying to find the coordinate, like that specific point where we are going to have a zero slope. And we got the y value. But coordinate is x comma y. So I got to find x value. So what I'm going to do is I will plug this value into our original function, which is x, 3x, this. And here, instead of y, I'm going to now plug in 0 because that's what we're trying to find. Let's see what we get. So that disappears, so we get 7. The problem is 8 times x times 0 will turn into the 0, and 0 equals 7. This does not make sense, which means no solution. So it's clear. Why no? There's no point because there's no point. There is no point. There's no point of the curve. You can actually copy this one. There's no point of the curve at which the line tangent of the curve is horizontal, or there's no point, or there's no such a point. I don't know. You know better English than me. No such a point. Point dy dx equals 0 because x value does not exist. That's what you really have to write. Okay, so first you have to show that x value, we have a y value, but out of this coordinate, we don't have x value. Do you see that? So x value doesn't exist, therefore there's no point. Okay, that's how you should answer. If you find x value, then your answer is gonna be some point that you got, comma 0. All right. So that should be maybe this one should be like same question. Now this is the last part. Let's read it. Find the coordinate of the point on the curve, which the line tangent of the curve is what? Now vertical, which means, like, do you see this cusp? This one is a sudden change, so this one is an undefined slope. So we already know this one. Let me copy this one down. Now, in order to be an undefined slope, I don't care what number, like let me put 9. If you have a 0 as a denominator, that's undefined, okay? I just copy it down, or you can even put negative 8y, it doesn't matter. So what really matters is, in order to have undefined slope, denominator has to be equal to 0. So what I'm gonna do is, do you see this bottom number? I'm gonna set 8x plus 3y squared equal to 0 so that I can actually solve for this. The question is, what value do I have to solve for? I have two variables, so either I can set y equals something or I can set x equals something. You can actually choose either one of them, but if you want to have less complicated, if you solve for y, do you see we have to deal with the squared, which means we have to square root both sides with a positive and negative. That's gonna be the complicated thing. So I'm gonna go against our instinct because y squared, we are like really want to solve for y, but in this case, it's gonna be better to solve for x. So what I'm gonna do is I will solve for x minus 3y squared both sides. We have 8x is equal to negative 3y squared. And if I divide by 8 on both sides, I will get x equals negative 3y squared over 8. So that's an x value. I don't know what x value is yet because I know x is equal to negative 3y squared of this. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one into our original function. And pretty sure I wrote it down somewhere here. Oh, whoa, what am I doing? So I'm going to copy this one down here. And instead of x, now I'm going to plug this one in so that I can actually solve for y. So I'm going to put negative 3y squared over 8 times y equals 7 minus y to the third power. Now I'm going to see, I'll see what I can get out of this. So, okay, 8 times this one disappears. So I have negative 3y squared times y equals 7 minus y to the third power. When I combine these two, I will get negative 3y squared, 3y to the third power equals 7 minus y to the third power. If I do plus y to the third power both sides, I will get negative 2y to the third power equals 7. So if I want to solve for y to the third power, I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides, which is y to the third power equals negative 7 over 2. And if I cube root on both sides, I'll get y equals cube root of negative 7 over 2. Although on actual test, you're going to get much better number than this. This one, you get very awful number because I just made up the number. But on actual thing, you're going to get better number. Now, we got the y value, but how do we get the x value? It's simple. Either you can plug this one in here and solve for x, or do you see we already know x equals this? I will simply plug this one in here. In that case, you can find it easier. So x equals, do you see this one? I'm going to plug this number in, negative 3 instead of y. We already know the y value, which is a cube root of negative 7 over 2 squared over 8. Now, here's a beautiful thing about the FRQ. You do not have to stress yourself to simplify this. What you can simply do is you just copy this one down. You're just telling me, Mr. Kim, I know you're grading, so you simplify for yourself because I do not want to make mistake. That's proper way. That's fair deal. So if you just write like this, I'm going to count it as correct. All right? Because that's what graders supposed to do. Okay, so that's about it in this video. I just went over these first 3 questions. That's all you need to do. I know this question can be a bit confusing, but at least on the test, I'm expecting you guys to answer these first 2 questions because that's what you really need to know. All right, guys, that's about it. I will come back to you guys with the next video. As always, guys, I love you guys. I trust you. So make me proud. See you guys. Bye.